Hey squad, this is Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and today I'm reviewing the Ironmaster Super Bench Pro version 2. Like the Super, you couldn't just go with Super. This is so good. You couldn't just do Pro. This is like an Ultra Max, you know? It's like, it's so good, you have to do Super and Pro. It's that good. And so today, I'm gonna be reviewing this bench. We've reviewed the version 1 of this. We did a review. They've since basically taken all of our detractors, all the things that I was like, I don't like this, I want this fixed, all that sort of stuff, and come out with this one and have fixed many of the things I didn't like. And so because they've listened to us, and also because I think the value on this bench may be one of the highest that's out there, I want to do a full breakdown review. Let's get into it. Okay, before I start, one thing I want to say, Ironmaster sent this bench free of charge so I could do a review on it. Just want to make that caveat. It's not going to change what I say. There are still things on this, although they made a lot of changes, there's still things that I'm going to call out. Also, in addition to that, if you'd like to purchase this, we'll put a link to the like button. That is a link you can go purchase, and then it will support us by doing so. They'll pay us a small commission. So if you like our work here, which I hope you do if you're watching this, please support us by going through that link. Now to the Ironmaster bench. Here, like, I want to make this statement from the get because I've been reviewing a lot of benches lately, and I've been reviewing a lot of heavy benches. In fact, right before this one, I just got done doing a review on a 140-pound bench, the Rogue Manta Ray. Like, then before that, not very long ago, I did the Rep Blackwing adjustable bench, which was like 135 pounds. If you'd like to see a breakdown on the best adjustable benches, by the way, a new one for this upcoming year, let me know in the comments below, because there's been a lot of benches that have come out since we did the last one, and I think I'd like to do another breakdown, so let me know in the comments. But this bench is less than half of both of those benches at 65 pounds, yet does a lot of the exact same stuff as those benches. So this is kind of what I've been trying to say, and one reason I really like this bench is there is not a reason to keep coming out with heavier and heavier equipment. Like, it's like an arms race, and the arms is to have heavier benches. I want to see benches that are not as heavy, but more innovative. And that's what this bench is. This bench is like, okay, how do we make a more innovative bench? How do we make it more stable without making it heavier? That's an interesting hypothesis. That's an interesting way to go down. That's what I want to see more of in gym equipment generally. And this one kills it at that. Let's get into it. Number one, this thing is designed to be, they actually talk about this, which this bench is an ecosystem in itself. This bench, they have so many attachments for this, which I love. There's still some attachments that I'd like to see, which maybe I'll call out in a moment, but they have so many attachments for this thing that you can really, like, if you don't want to use barbells and don't want to use a rack, you can have like a full gym just using this stuff and their accessories. Right now, as you can see on there, we have dip handles, and this thing, because of the frame being long, the dip handles work great. You can add a pull-up bar to it. Has a removable seat pad, also has the ability to add a leg extension or leg curl, has the ability to add a dumbbell spotting stand that locks in. It even has a cable tower. I'm not kidding. It has a lat pull-down tower that can attach to the back of the bench if you want to use it with the bench. That can be weighted using either weight plates or Ironmaster dumbbells. That's freaking sick. So if you want to just be all Ironmaster, this is a true ecosystem. This is something I think a lot of people don't talk about. This bench can be used in all sorts of ways, or you can use it like I do, as just a normal incline, adjustable, or flat decline bench. It can do that as well and does it very well. One of the ways that it's able to do this, one of the unique features, is basically most companies are using a ladder system or a pop pin style system. That's what you see out there. I can't think of many other benches that don't use that sort of design. They're basically just using a hinge in the middle, and that's what everybody's thinking of. Ironmaster, I don't know who Mr. Ironmaster is, but pretty innovative guy, probably a lot like the AeroPress guy or the Aerobi guy. Just kind of like comes up with unique solutions for problems that people didn't even know they had. Basically, he decided to make a bench that has an arc on the bottom and then has a spring-loaded lever that you actually touch with your foot to adjust the bench. And then in order to have a seat pad for incline, it just has a removable seat pad. So you don't even need to worry about it adjusting or worry about a pad gap or anything like that, because it's just built in. So it's a dedicated flat bench, like no gap, not even like the rep has 0 gap. Well, this is truly 0 gap. There's no gap because it's a flat pad, and then allows the seat pad to lock in. And one of the things that's been upgraded about the version 2, it now has a 3rd position, which you can actually see behind me. That's the one that it's currently locked in. It allows you to use it for shoulder presses. It's a little bit higher. A lot of people had been asking for it. I would love to see, like, just gonna say this, Iron Master, I would love to see a bench that just had it all throughout the bench rail. I think that would be cool, because then you could have other attachments and lock them in where you wanted. But I do like that they have 3 on this one as well, and that higher seat pad I think feels really good, and unlike any other adjustable bench, because it allows you to sit up high when you're doing shoulder press, and then like your legs aren't bent. They're kind of extended somewhat, and you can just really drive against the ground. Really love that feature. Then, one thing that we talked about and kind of like said I didn't like very much was how thin the pad was. They came out with a new pad that has 2 options. So the hybrid pad now has 2 different widths. One is 10.25 inches, which is the same width as the original Super Bench Pro, and the one that I said was thin. Honestly, it is very thin. It feels fine on incline, but when you're doing flat, it just feels like you're pressing on a board or something. It's just a little too thin. So then on the other end, they made it 12.25 inches. So now you have the best of both worlds. Because this bench, the way it's designed, it feels pretty similar either side. So if you want to use flat with a wider bench and like something like a Thompson Fat Pad, you want a wider bench, then you can turn it around and use it that way. I love that feature. I think it's a great addition. Also feels good when, say, you're using this for incline dumbbell rows or something. This is one of the best benches to use for that because there's no ladder in the way. That allows you to have a bottom pad that's really wide for your legs to stabilize on, but thin enough where, like for seal rows, it just feels really good. You just have a lot of range of motion. So I actually really like this pad. When I saw it online, it looked kind of ugly, like it's just a weird shape. I wasn't sure what I think about it in use, but now that it's in here, I really like it. It actually feels really good. I will say, although they fixed that, the padding and vinyl on it is still not good. There are things about this bench that I just absolutely love, and then there's little parts that's like, man, if they would just step up just a little bit, I think it'd be a lot better. Like this with, say, the new grabber vinyl that Rogue has, that would just be incredible. So I would love to see them improve. The padding is very firm. I think it could be a little bit more comfortable, like a higher density foam, but also one that has some comfort to it, kind of like what Rep is using on their new benches. I just feel like there's better pads that are out there. I don't think that's a detractor from the entire bench, but something I want to call out. Although I like the shape of the pad, the foam and vinyl is still not there for me. Then you have the angles. So this can actually have 11 adjustable angles, which is more than just about any other bench that's out there. Like, for instance, the Rogue Man Array, which is their premium Primo bench, has 10 on the back. This one does 11. It goes to 11. I wonder if they're like Spinal Tap fans or something, like turn it to 11. But I'm glad they do 11. It goes from 0 degrees flat all the way up to 85 degrees, which is the standard for shoulder press. That's the position it's in now. Also feels really good when you put a dip handle in there to do dips. And it's stable. Once that thing is locked in with the spring-loaded foot lever, which is very nice, you don't have to like grab something with your hands. You can actually be holding your dumbbells and hit that foot lever and then like maneuver it up with your arm or something, and you don't have to like get down and release everything you're holding. It just works great for supersets and things like that. It's one of the quickest and easiest to use. Also the locking, it just, when you tap your foot, like it feels really good. So I like that feature, sounds good. It's just a nice feeling. Now, one other thing I want to mention that I don't love, but this is the only way I can think of them doing this, so I'm glad they have it. Because you use this in all different positions, you have to have a wide enough frame so it's stable at all positions. Because you're using this on like weighted dips or weighted pull-ups or something. You've got to be able to have a frame that has feet on both sides. A lot of the newer adjustable benches, they have flat foot. Say the Blackwing or the Man Array has a flat plate. That tripod design would not work on this bench. So there are feet on both sides of the bench. So what that means is if you're using this as a dedicated flat bench and you're a power lifter and you like to tuck your feet, there may be better benches out there. Like, just the reality. For most people, most training, this is gonna work just fine, but some I wanna call out are those feet, which are inherent in the stability, but you also can't tuck your feet. And also the bench height, 17.2 inches, which is in the IPF standard range. One of the lower adjustable benches that are out there. Many, they get higher. There are other benches, some of the newer ones, they've kind of started to, that's the standard now. But this one's been that way for a while, and they included it on the Super Bench Pro version 2. Also, one thing that I called out on the last one in relation to the angles is you had no way of telling what angle you were on. There was no degree markings on the arc. You just had no idea, you just had to guess. They now have laser etching on every single angle on the back pad. So that all the way from 0 to 85, all 11, they're not laser cut, but they're laser etched, so that they're still not gonna wear off. They are on every marking, so you know exactly where you're at and you can remember where you're at. So whether you're training other people or training yourself and just want to remember, it's there. So huge addition. I'm really glad they brought it. Now a couple other things. They now have a bench handle standard. It's nice. They didn't have a bench handle on the other one. They offered it as like an upgrade. Some of you buy additional. Now they just include it. I like that they have it. Makes it easy to move around. The wheels on this are very tinny. I just want to say that. Like, I feel like, again, this is another thing that they could add to make it better without spending a ton of extra money is nicer wheels. Like, it would be nice to have what Rogue has on their very premium benches, but it doesn't even have to be that good. Just something bigger. Because like me, most people are using this in their garage, maneuvering around, and you got other stuff on the ground, you got to take it outside, inside, whatever, you got to go over bumps. It'd be nice to have bigger wheels. Minor, but I do like that they added the handle. And then another thing which I already mentioned is the higher seat posts. So overall, this is a version 2. There isn't a crazy amount changed. Like when they call it version 2, I think there's enough that it warrants a version 2 instead of like a 1.5 or something. But I will say this is a better version. They've improved over the version 1. So does that make me like the bench more? Do I think it's better than other? Here's what I'll say. Like, I'm gonna be very frank here. This, I think, is my new favorite adjustable bench. 500 bucks, free shipping, has so many degree markings, a true ecosystem that allows all sorts of things to be attached. More attachments that could come. One I would love to see is a foot plate for low rows. That would be amazing because a lot of people are doing low rows on something like a Prime Prodigy or say a Rep functional trainer or something. That would allow you to have a foot plate that slides in the side, foot plates here, and then you have a hole in the center for the cable to go through. I would love to see that. That's something they could easily add to this as an additional attachment. Just lots of attachment that you could add to it for 500 bucks. Like, I think this is the new bench for me. Sorry, old bench. Sorry, Stray Dog's been the bench, the adjustable bench in my garage. My wife works out with me a lot. My kids are working out with me more. I have to come out and move that for them. You know, like, not very fun. This one does so much. This is the new bench. So if you're in the market for an adjustable bench and you're like, I think this is one of the best value. There are cheaper benches out there that if you're just looking for like a lower price option, I would go with them. But I would get this personally, like this, I'll use it. I have every bench available to take and use. This is the one I'm gonna use. Like, it's that good. 500 bucks, does so much, and I love the improvements. Still more to go. I would love to see better padding and some of that stuff, but as it is, dude, killer value. So killer job, Iron Master. Like, I really highly recommend this. And I say that on very few products. Okay, what do you think of the bench? Do you think it's enough to make you use it? I know there are some Iron Master stands out there that absolutely love the Iron Master Super Bench Pro. We got asked for years, Coop, review it, Coop, review it, Coop, review it. Finally reviewed it, I gave in, and you're right, I love it. I would love to hear from you. Do you think it beats out a lot of other benches, even though it's been on the market for a long time? What improvements would you like to see to make it even better? Any attachments? Let me know in the comments. This has been Coop from the garage, the gym, and the reviews. I'll see you next time. Peace.